live session, questions and answers about hair transplant in general today. And that's the questions, these are the questions we are accepting today. So the first question is, Doctor, it is my 10th day of hair transplant. My surgery was done using FUE Sapphire technique. I washed my head on the 7th day, and today is my 10th day. I scratched my crown area with nails when I was sleeping. I saw redness after clicking pictures. Does it mean I scratched too hard? There was no bleeding though. My grafts, are they safe or not? Or the grafts, have they been dislodged? Have I damaged my grafts? Well, on the 10th day, I would not really fear about my hair transplant as far as dislodging of the grafts is concerned. The grafts are firm in the body. They are one with the body starting end of 5th or 6th day after the procedure. So this is called consolidation of the grafts. So once the grafts are consolidated into the body, they are one with the body, it's not easy at all to displace them. You may bump your head, you may try and scratch them out, but the grafts will not come out. The superficial part of the crust will come out with what is seemingly the hair, but it doesn't contain the root. The germinal part, that is a part of the hair which has the power to rejuvenate itself, that is the bulb of the hair, is still inside. So after 5th day, after 6th day, rest assured that the grafts are not going to come off. Even if I want to, the surgeon wants to pick out the grafts using tweezers, he will not be able to do so unless he uses a sponge again, and why would he? So rest assured, your grafts are quite safe at this stage. The only harm that scratching can cause is it can cause infection. So please be careful that your hands are clean, especially at night when you're oblivious of the fact, when you're scratching your head when you're sleeping, you don't have any control over your scratching. So be very careful that your hands are clean at night and you asepticize your planted area and your hands before sleeping. So the next question is from Physio Gaming 4166, and he wants to know, he's 20 years old. He wants to know that due to fast weight loss, I lost so much hair and density. Genetically, my father has genes of baldness, but due to fast weight loss, my genes got activated and I also lost density on the back sides too. Now, can I regrow my hair density as before by using oral minoxidil? And my hair is getting thin and lean at ends, and can I use oral finasteride? Doctor, please reply. So it is an accepted fact that rapid weight loss alters the body metabolism, alters the hormonal profile, and since it alters the hormonal profile, and since if you're carrying the male pattern baldness gene, you may have massive shedding as well. So if you're planning a weight loss, a massive weight loss, please do it much before you plan your hair transplant, or wait till 1 year after your hair transplant result has made itself obvious. So immediately after hair transplant, fasting is not a good idea. Immediately before the hair transplant too, fasting is not a good idea. Especially if you have a family history of baldness behind you, you will need more than just minoxidil, since minoxidil does not alter your hormonal profile. Your thinning being the effect of DHT on your follicles. So I would say that you rapidly go on to finasteride if you're not taking it already. So the third question is from Jason, and he wants to know, hi doctor, which is the better method, FUE or DHI, and when and why? So let me tell you that FUE is a generic term. DHI is the name of a company. It's not a technique of hair transplant. The method of FUE entails moving hair, plucking them one by one, and moving them to the recipient area. Various doctors, various surgeons, various clinics do it in different ways. And every clinic does a procedure which is best suited to the doctor's skills, to how the team has been trained, and how the coordination of the team is, whether the team has been sticking around for a long period of time or not. Well, if it is a clinic where the team rotates very often, then there are different techniques that they need to do. But if a clinic has staff which is constant, there are totally different techniques of FUE that should be done. Sorry, I got a cold and cough for the last 5 days. So there are various techniques. The oldest form of FUE was taking the graft from here, putting them in the holding solution, and then transplanting them into the recipient area. Then it slowly evolved. As it happens with techniques, they get more sophisticated, more skill comes into play, the doctor's team gets more skillful. And this is how a clinic evolves, and this is how the skill set of the surgeon and his team evolves over time. And then they look around for ways in which how to better preserve the grafts when they're out of the body, how to decrease the out of body ischemia time, and how skillfully and by which instruments they can move the grafts faster, safely, effectively, without causing damage. So the technique at my end, if I would only like to explain my technique. So in my clinic, we use the FUE technique. We use the safe scribe harvesting machine, and we use various punches for different situations. It could be a sharp punch, it could be a dull punch, it could be a semi-dull punch, and it could also be a serrated punch. Of late, I've been using the serrated punch more and more. Now, this is about harvesting the grafts, which I do myself. I do not let any other person harvest the grafts, because I feel that the two techniques, the two surgical techniques, if a clinic can control, if there's no variation, there's a greater control over the results that the clinic can offer, and the results that the clinic can obtain from one case to the other, and there is less variation in results. Also, there's an element of direct interaction with the patient, which is always helpful in developing the patient-doctor relationship. The doctor should always be around in the OT, even for the one step that is not done by the doctor, that is a plantation. So in my technique, after the harvesting is over, firstly, I would like to tell you about the in vivo technique. In the in vivo technique of harvesting, the grafts are just cored and not taken out of the donor area. So when the graft gets cored, the bottom area is still attached to the body. That is the blood vessel. The blood vessels to the follicles are still supplying nutrition. So the body is not the graft is not out of the body yet. So only after the entire scalp has been harvested, in large cases, say when we are aiming at 3,500 plus grafts, then we take them out very fast. 2 or 3 technicians will take them out very fast. Within about 20 minutes, they're out. Then they are separated in singles, doubles, triples, and fours, if there are fours. And this is because we have to sort out the grafts. The grafts have to come out, they come out randomly, but they have to go in a hierarchical fashion, because the singles have to come in front, and then the doubles and triples and fours. Also, we have to strategically place the grafts in areas which require higher density. If we have a larger area and we cannot, with these many grafts, cover it in one go, so strategic placement entails that we know the number of grafts, the hair count in each graft before we start to put them in. After this, while the surgeon, that is me, I am doing the slits, the team is cleaning the grafts under magnification. They are defatting them, de-skinning them, so that they can go into the implanter pen. Once the slits are made, with the sapphire knife, the patient is given a break, and 20 minutes later, we start to plant the grafts using implanter pens. My implanter pen is a modification of various pens, and the closest resembling modification is to the keep pen, though there are some salient differences in which I use different devices to push the graft in, and the flange also is differently made. So we have two planters, one on the left and one on the right, and two assistants for each of these planters, and one person on the floor as a helper. So usually a case of 3,500 grafts takes about 6 hours to accomplish. After this is done, the patient's scalp is adequately hydrated, and proper dressing and aesthetic protocol is maintained. The patient goes home or to the hotel wherever he's staying. So this is the protocol that we follow in my clinic. We do the FUE technique, anagen Q plus in vivo preservation of grafts, followed by direct placement of grafts using implanter pen. So then we go on to the next question, and the next question is, Doctor, will my transplanted hair fall out? See, I don't know whether he's asking me whether they'll fall out as a matter of shock loss, which is routine after hair transplant between 7 days and 4 weeks. Shedding or telogen effluvium is common. So this is just like the leaves falling off during the fall season and springing back during spring. So do not panic. This is normal. And your hair roots, which are planted deep under the skin, are growing a new hair, and therefore the old hair is being thrown out by a process of dislodgement, which is natural. So keep your chin up, stay positive. Everything will be fine as long as you are following the care, the advice that has been given to your doctor. And as far as falling out of the hair is concerned, after the hair transplant result has manifested itself, that is after 6 months, if the donor area has been evaluated properly, if the donor area grafts have been anagen grafts, not miniaturized hair, they are not likely to fall off in a lifetime. They might thin over with age, but they will definitely not fall off. Then we go on to some questions regarding healing. So when will I heal, doctor? So this term healing means different things to different people. To many people, healing means when will they go back to work? When will everything look normal on their head? What is a downtime after a hair transplant? So the wounds are watertight after 36 hours and mostly of no concern in a week's time. But truly speaking, healing may take up to 1 to 1.5 years. This is the time it takes for the scar to remodel itself. The next question is, how deep, doctor, is the FUE wound? And I can see the next question is, how deep is the FUT wound? So this person is probably undecided between an FUE hair transplant and an FUT hair transplant. So the FUE wound recipient area is no more than 2 millimeters. When we harvest the graft, we do not have to go to the full length of the graft. After 2 millimeters, there's a pop and the graft springs out in most cases. Whereas in the recipient area, when we use the slit blade, the sapphire knife, the depth has to be depth of the size of the graft, which is usually 4 millimeters in size. So this is the depth of the FUE recipient wound and the depth of the FUE donor area wound. How deep is the FUT donor wound depth? See, the FUT donor wound depth is deeper to the dermis, which lies at a deeper level than 4 millimeters. It's about 7 millimeters in depth, maybe 8 millimeters also in depth. Whereas the recipient area wound for FUT is the same as FUE. FUT and FUE are only harvesting techniques. They are not plantation techniques. You should know that. So all the specifics of recipient area management are the same for FUE and the same for FUT. So those were the questions about hair transplant today in the live session. If you have any other questions you want to ask for tomorrow's session, please let me know. Leave a comment in the comment section, or leave a message on WhatsApp in the number provided, or mail me directly at drbhatti darlingbuds.com. So I hope you liked the session today. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Your commitment to this channel keeps the channel going. Have a nice day and God bless you.